What's up, guys? It's Chiefs Chat, episode 16, and I've got a drink. So in this episode, I want to talk about next week's game against the Raiders. So I don't normally do game previews this early. I usually just do them like a couple of days before the game. But in this case, I've got a lot to talk about here with the Raiders because we did lose to them. I don't know if you guys remember, but we did lose to them a few weeks ago, and it was absolutely heartbreaking. I almost cried. I didn't cry. It was fine. I did cry, but I almost cried. And, I just don't want that to happen again. I just don't want to lose to the Raiders. I mean, that's just super sad. I can't believe that even happened. So, I want to talk about what the Chiefs need to do differently in this game. And obviously I did, watch the Raiders last week, and I did watch them a couple weeks ago, and they're putting together some wins. And, John Gruden, he's a solid head coach. Derek Carr, he hasn't always been, viewed as an elite quarterback, but he's playing like one this year. And I just don't know what to say. I mean, this Raiders team, they're surprising a lot of people. And I'm looking at this game, all right? So the Raiders right now, as it stands, they are in the 5th seed of the playoffs. They are making the playoffs. If the playoffs began today, they would be in the playoffs. So here's the thing about the Raiders. They're the 5th seed. And I compare this game, the game that's coming up right here, I'm going to compare it to a game that we had against the Raiders last season, a game that I actually went to. It was actually freezing. I almost died. It was so cold. But I went to that game, and going into this game, the Chiefs, had a couple of wins in previous weeks. They had a good record, obviously, at the time. But the Raiders, they were actually looking to make a statement, get a big win against the Chiefs, and maybe even take back this division. Last season they obviously had hopes and dreams of doing that, but in that game, okay, it was it was super freezing cold, and in all honesty, I probably didn't pay much attention to it because of how just absolutely freezing it was. I was at that game, if you didn't know. I know I mentioned that before, but I was literally at the game, and it was probably like the worst Chiefs game I've ever been to. The weather was awful, my seats weren't that good, but I watched it. I tried to watch it at least, and from what I did see, obviously this game, the Chiefs won. Convincingly. I think that the final score was about 40-3 or something crazy like that. I could be wrong. But the final score was absolutely insane. And I was super happy about that. And, from what I saw, the defense just played phenomenal. They just played absolutely incredible against Derek Carr. And I think Juan Thornhill had a pick six, and, he was playing great, his entire rookie season. He's having a solid year so far this year. But, our defense just played great. And that's what I need to see from this Chiefs team because this first meeting with the Raiders earlier this year, it was just absolutely awful. Our defense just didn't play well, and particularly our secondary. And you look at our secondary, in that game last season against the Raiders, it was phenomenal. Okay, we just, I was even sitting there in the stands. Everybody, obviously the atmosphere is incredible at Arrowhead Stadium. Everybody around me is just chanting, okay, pass the ball, because every time Derek Carr dropped back to pass, we knew something good was going to happen. Because our secondary was just phenomenal. Our secondary was playing great, just blanket coverage all around, just not letting anybody get through. So, and that's the thing. We just need to repeat that same success. And, we've got most of the same players, obviously. We've got some, switch-ups. We've got some different guys in. But we just need to repeat that success. It's the same guy. It's John Gruden. It's Derek Carr. A few of the same receivers. Darren Waller was what really killed us, in that first meeting. So we just got to make sure we keep him in check. We just got to make sure that we got guys on, their main targets at all time. Josh Jacobs, he's a big guy. He's a super solid running back, and he's on my fantasy team, so I would know. He puts up a lot of points. But the thing about Josh Jacobs, in our run defense, obviously so far this year has just been, terrible. We have played Josh Jacobs. We have played guys like Christian McCaffrey. So we've played some tough opponents with some pretty good running backs. But, I'm really looking for us to step it up this game. Because obviously last week, playing against the Panthers the last time we played, our run defense was pretty bad against Christian McCaffrey. Obviously it is Christian McCaffrey, but I just want our run defense to do better. And it wasn't even good against the Broncos when we just blew out the Broncos. It wasn't even that good against the Broncos. So we need to do better, on being smart on defense. Just being able to identify, what plays they're doing, audibles and stuff like that, on the offensive side of the ball. They just need to be able to analyze that and be able to, counter those audibles. Because I saw a lot of that in the first meeting against the Raiders. They had a lot of switch-up calls. They had a lot of sneaky plays. And they were able to burn the Chiefs' defense quite a lot. So we just need to make sure we are playing smart football. Just making sure we're controlling the gap. Making sure we're, keeping the box intact, because a lot of what happened in that first meeting was Josh Jacobs being able to break out of that box, and we just got to make sure our linebackers and our front four are just being able to contain Josh Jacobs. That's the most important part of this game, because Josh Jacobs, he can make or break the game for the Raiders. And he really has been doing a lot of that this season. Obviously, that's why the Raiders, as of right now, are 6-3, which is a very good record. Kudos to the Raiders. But, like I said, I'm going to compare this game right here to the game that we had last year against the Raiders, when obviously, they had hopes and dreams of winning the AFC West. And Chiefs, obviously, we've won the AFC West past 4 seasons, I believe. 4 or 3 or 4. I think it's actually, could be 5. I'm losing track. That's how good the Chiefs are in the AFC West. But the Raiders, obviously, this year, having hopes and dreams, once again, same as last year, having hopes and dreams of winning the AFC West, taking over that AFC West crown. And obviously, a win in this game would be a big statement for the Raiders. But here's the thing, the Chiefs, they're not going to let that happen. They didn't let it happen last year, and they haven't let it happen for the past few seasons. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes being at quarterback now, I feel more confident than ever that the Chiefs aren't going to let it happen again. Because the Raiders, you look at this team. Obviously, they've got a lot of weapons. Obviously, they've got a lot of good coaching. It's just there's no aspect of this team that's any better than the Chiefs. Okay, we just re-signed Andy Reid and Brett Veach to contract extensions. Okay, Andy Reid, the guy who entered this team in 2013, really turned this team around, changed the culture of this football team. He's now going to be our head coach. I didn't really look at the details of the contract extension. I just saw that they signed him, and I was like, let's throw a party. But Andy Reid, he's going to continue to be on this team, and that's just something that's great. That's something that's just fantastic. And Brett Veach, since he's been our general manager, he's been absolutely fantastic, and I'm super happy to continue to have him on our team. So, excuse me, man, talking a lot here. I've got a lot to say about the Raiders, but the fact that they are still going to be on our team, for years to come, it just, if I was a Raiders fan, I would just be sad. I would just be absolutely terrified of this Chiefs team. And like I said, there's no aspect of that Raiders team that's any better than the Chiefs. Look at the quarterback position, obviously not better than the Chiefs. Look at the running back position, questionable. Josh Jacobs, he's a solid guy, but we've got Clyde Edwards-Helaire, we've got Le'Veon Bell now, who, in all honesty, I've got some things to say about Le'Veon Bell, because since he has entered the Chiefs running back group, we haven't been doing very well. But I'll talk about that later. But we've got a lot of solid guys at the running back position. I would even go so far as to say as our run production is a little bit better than the Raiders. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he's putting up a better rookie season than Josh Jacobs was, in my opinion. I think he's, not only having an impact on the running game, but he's also having a good impact in the passing game. Not as much so as we'd originally hoped. Patrick Mahomes, he's really gunning it down the field this year, and hence why he is currently the front runner for MVP. So wouldn't be surprised if Patrick Mahomes picks up that MVP award. But overall, I can't think of one part of this Chiefs team that isn't better than the Raiders team. You could argue maybe offensive line, because they do have Rodney Hudson. He's a very solid veteran guy, and our offensive line, it's been a bit banged up. And actually, funny thing is, earlier today, I think 3 of our offensive linemen got put on the COVID list. So that's not a good sign. Obviously, I don't think that's going to continue to. I don't think they'll be on that list, forever. I think they're probably going to be taken off that list, before the game next week. But, that's just a kind of a scary thing that happened this morning. But, you like I said, I would maybe argue offensive line, because the part of why Josh Jacobs is so successful in Las Vegas is because he's got a really solid offensive line, and he always has, pretty much ever since he joined that Raiders team. So, but yeah, I just wanted to talk about this Raiders game, because I've been thinking about it, and I'm just really hoping that the Chiefs can bounce back and win this game, and I'm not even worried about it, So I'm pretty pumped for this game, and I just really wanted to talk about it, And this Raiders team, they're surprising a lot of people, but after this week, I think we'll know who the AFC West champion is going to be, and for that matter, probably the AFC championship, probably the Super Bowl champions, At the end of the day, the Chiefs did win the Super Bowl last year, and they are looking better than ever. So, anyway, guys, that's all I really wanted to say about next week's game against the Raiders. I don't know if I'll make a part 2 of this game preview. I probably will, because there's a lot to be said about this game, and there's a lot to think about, and obviously things are changing in this league very quickly. So, you never know when things might change. You never know when the Raiders might sign someone crazy. Do something insane that might give them a fighting chance. But As of right now, just a little update for you guys, there's no way. In my opinion, there's no way they're going to win. So you guys can rest easy knowing that the Chiefs are probably going to win and make a big statement game against the Raiders, shutting them down for the second year in a row. Because last year, like I said, they had playoff hopes, but no, Chiefs shut it down. So anyway, that's all I got to say about that. And, super happy with this Chiefs team as it is. Just overall, everything's going great. And super pumped for this Raiders game. I hope you guys are too. So that's all I got for Chiefs Chat episode 16. I'll see you in the next episode, Chiefs Chat episode 17. Peace out. Later, dudes.